The Independent National Electoral Commission yesterday announced Hope Uzodinma, candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, the winner of the Imo governorship election by landslide. Uzodinma, who is the current governor of the state, polled 540,308 votes to beat Samuel Anyanwu of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, who scored 71,503 votes, and Athan Achonu of Labour Party, who secured 64,081 votes. But there was pandemonium at the State Collection Center for the Imo gubernatorial election on Sunday morning when a fight broke out between party agents, which led to the beating of the Labour Party chairman in Imo State, Barrister Callistus Ihejiagwa, who was eventually thrown out of the collation hall, while the People's Democratic Party agent was ushered out. The incident began after results from Osu local government area were announced.
According to the declared results, Hope Uzodinma, the All Progressive Congress candidate, polled 18,003 votes, while Labour Party's Athan Achonu had 813 votes, and Samuel Anyanwu of the PDP garnered 624 votes. Now take a look at the incident.
Nowhere in Osu was the election done. We will not sit here and allow you to collect the result from Osu.
Please, I want to just hold on there. I want to correct something. I want to get something here. Please. There is something I want to get. Hold on, sir. Excuse me, sir. Just listen. Hello. Please just listen. I want to ask something.
Hey. Come back now. Your phone.
For the police.
Take him out.
Well, you know, that's incident on Saturday at the collation center there in Imo State. Shameful, to say the least, but, you know, not shocking. Yeah, that's the interesting part of, you know, all of this. Shameful, but not shocking.
I don't know what's sadder, the fact that you said it's shameful or the fact that it's not shocking.
Yeah, because, you know, if we're being realistic about Nigeria's electoral process, you know, the dysfunction that occurs with the Nigerian state will get to the elections. And so when you see things like that, nobody's really shocked. You know, we would see it and bow our heads in shame, you know, because it's embarrassing. But we're not shocked, we're not surprised. And I want you to look at that video very well. There's something that a lot of people may not notice. That there were police officers standing right there. Not one or two, I think about three of them. There was one, you can see one sitting on the chair there,
yeah.
And then at the door, just before he was pulled out of the hall, you can see two police officers standing right there.
What's the police officers
and
sitting down
these,
there?
exactly, these are people who are meant to be, you know, upholding law and order. They are sitting down there while this is going on. This is, a physical assault of a party member, a party agent of a political party. There are two police officers standing at the door. There's one sitting down there, and they watched this happen. They didn't get themselves involved. They didn't interfere. They didn't stop. They didn't do anything while this happened. And that, once again, you can see the two of them basically giving way for him to be pulled out.
Yeah.
So you can basically see that when I say the dysfunction that is Nigeria, the dysfunction of a Nigerian state will eventually flow to every aspect of our lives.
That is in order to say you go touch everybody.
Yes, and you don't when you see it happen, and that's why I said it's embarrassing, but it's not shocking. Like we're not shocked to see things like that happen. What do you then expect from the average Nigerian police officer when it's time to fight crime? they don't understand what their role is, basically. And so in a situation like that, he also doesn't know that his role in that situation was to ensure that to at least bring calm, do something at least. But of course, we still don't live in a society, and this is why it is crazy. We still don't live in a society where the man who was assaulted now can sue those assaulting him for physical and get justice. We still don't live in that type of society.
Well,
Anyway.
Unfortunately, I was watching that video and I was reminded of what, what Thomas Hobbes described as, we were talking about life, describing it as nasty, brutish, and short. And that was quite a nasty video to watch, chaotic and very embarrassing. Let's now bring in political analyst Nnaemeka Obiaraeri to join us in analyzing what had happened. Good morning, Mr. Obiaraeri. Thank you very much for your time and for joining us.
Good morning, Olive. Thanks for having me.
Mr. Obiaraeri, would like to know what your thoughts are on, first, the elections, how they played out, and then we'll come back to that video that we just played.
There was no election in Imo State, Olive. I've been in Imo State since Thursday, and I can tell you categorically, emphatically, with every sense of honesty and responsibility, there was no election in Imo State. Basically, what we had was exactly a replication of what happened on March 18, 2023, but at a more monstrous level. The APC and INEC and the police and army just ganged up to allocate votes to Hope Uzodinma. It was already a predetermined orchestration of evil, debauchery, manipulation. In fact, what we have here is no democracy. I am shocked beyond measures. And the worst of it all, like just what you saw in that video, basically we've gotten to a point where evil, criminality, debauchery had become normalized from the religious centers to the traditional centers to the political, even to the civil society. We've gotten to a point where a vast majority of Nigerians see this kind of wickedness, this kind of atrocities as a way of life. The society is totally broken. No, I am a Christian. In fact, it got me thinking about what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. Abraham was so emphatic in intervention, asking God, oh, please show mercy if I can find 50. He could not find 50. He came down to 30. Even 5. Lot and his family was actually spared because of their linkage to Abraham. It got to a point even his wife could not even forget the atrocities and the allure of the wickedness in Sodom, that she looked back and turned to a bag of salt. See, let me tell you, what happened in Imo State on November 11, 2023 is just an amplification of the criminality, the debauchery, the roguery, and the evil that have become the new normal under the APC government since 2015. We thought that the PDP's people were most. Now I've got to understand that they are actually kindergarten compared to the evil. The whole institutions of the state are broken down. Let me tell you. You see, Olive, I am short of words. I am short of words. I cannot believe my eyes. In my 50 years on earth, I've never seen this kind of thing.
Well,
I want you to react to a conversation we had earlier. I mean, you are saying that there was no election that held on the 11th of November in Imo State. Earlier on the show, we had Mr. Athan Achonu who talked to us about the Imo State's Charter of Equity and how this election was basically set up in a way that Hope Uzodinma comes again for the second time. Now, the Charter of Equity basically is to ensure the rotation of the governorship seat among the different political zones. Seeing that Olu has held it for the longest time, they wanted to get to the Owerri zone and then to the Okigwe zone. Now, do you think that this Charter of Equity, even though the intention might have been just and fair to ensure the rotation of the governorship seats, do you think that that Charter of Equity is the reason why Hope Uzodinma got his second term in office? And do you think that it's a fair argument that the Charter of Equity should hold? You had mentioned that there were no elections that held in Imo State on the 11th of November. And in the first half of the show, we had a guest who alleged that the Imo Charter of Equity automatically sort of handed this election to Hope Uzodinma because there was an agreement to ensure the rotation of the gubernatorial seats through the different local government areas, seeing as Olu has held it for the longest time, and they need this to move to Owerri zone and to Okigwe zone. Do you think this is a fair enough argument for what exactly might have happened on the 11th of November? And is the charter fair in itself?
Olive, if I know Dr. Achonu, if Dr. Achonu made this kind of submission, I'll be damned and shocked. Which charter of equity are we talking about here? Imo State is divided into 3 zones: Okigwe, Olu, and Owerri. The first governor of Imo State, Ogbonmwan, was from Olu zone. After 8 years, Hakim from Okigwe zone took over. First time after his first term, of course, he was blackmailed out of office. Rochas from Olu zone took over. After 9 years, if there was a charter of equity, the right thing would have been for the power to go to Owerri zone or Okigwe zone. The Rochas was hell-bent on fostering his son-in-law, who is also from Olu zone. Of course, Nnaemeka Obiaraeri won that election and was duly sworn in. Of course, we saw the Supreme Court abracadabra that made number 4, who never won an election. I've never won any election in Imo State through fair, free, and credible process to become governor. Let me tell you, Olive, I come from a place called Emodi in the Okigwe Local Government of Imo State. Go and ask anybody. Since the advent of this Fourth Republic in 1999, there was never a time Okigwe Local Government area turned out anything more than 20,000 votes. It's one of the least populated local governments in Imo State. But before our very own eyes, Hope Uzodinma and INEC and the police and army allocated themselves 55,000 votes from Okigwe. Okigwe that has 7 communities that are already infested by bandits. No, and I was in the, see, there was no electoral, there was no INEC official that showed up in Aku, Umulolo, Ihube, Umawi. Go and ask anybody. You guys are media men. You can do.
But results were declared in these places.
Results were declared in my own community. We had nobody. People see, there was no INEC official. Ask anybody. I bet you, I will donate 1 million naira if you can get up to 1,000 people in the whole of Ogbonmwan area who told you that they voted that election. I am saying this on live station. I will donate 1 million naira to any charity of your choice if you can get 1,000 people in the whole of Okigwe Local Government area that told you that they voted that election. This guy sat down, cooked up numbers, and INEC endorsed it. This is a rape of democracy. Do you know the irony of it all? I see, there is no hope. You see, the worst part of it is that the security agencies, the army, the police, INEC, the institutions of the state have been totally destroyed. Basically, what we have today, across party line, let me tell you, it's no longer a case of PDP, APC. Of course, you saw what happened in the National Assembly. They shared over 110 billion among themselves. Even those that were elected under a bandwagon effect on the Labour Party at the back of P2B never said anything. Basically, what we have in Nigeria today is an elitist gangsterism of political bandits, less than 1% of Nigerians holding to ransom the rest of Nigerians. It's a case of principles. And I will tell you this. There's nothing new under the sun. What is happening to Nigeria today had happened in other places. I tell you, the only thing that can save this country is divine intervention. The military and the police are even more corrupt than the political process people. The judiciary is even more corrupt than those in the political space. When TI came out with their investigative report that showed 95% of those in the victim of government across all the government being corrupt, 94% for the government of legislation across the of government, and 65% for judiciary, we thought they were joking. Today, I can categorically tell you, you will hardly find 10% of Nigerians across the 3 tiers and arms of government who are above board. What we have today in Nigeria are a league of criminal elites.
Yeah, Mr. Obiaraeri.
Who do not care about the well-being of the rest of the 200 million Nigerians. All they want is how they can grab power, steal it, and unfortunately, we have a mass of ignorant citizens.
Yeah, Mr. Obiaraeri, in the time, we have about 2 minutes left, so let's also get you to quickly react to the very, very sad video that we, of course, showed, where the Labour Party agent was being violently, attacked and pulled out of the collation center there in Imo State. Quick reactions to that also. I did mention that there were police officers standing by while that happened.
It has become a new normal in Nigeria. Osarogie, Olive. All I say, like Joshua said, for me and my household, we have chosen to stay above the frame. You saw what happened. The policemen were watching. A man was brutally and gruesomely assaulted. Nothing happened. And talking about going to court. Which court? Which judiciary are we talking about here? The average Nigerian is aware that our courts have become pay for play. Anybody is buyable, and they've shown it. So basically, for me, I've resolved. Let me tell you, I have given up on anything called Nigeria. There is no democracy here. For me, I will concentrate in living my life, raising my children to understand what principles and values are. Joshua, at the time in Israel, Joshua told them, see, we have had enough. For me and my household, we have chosen to serve the Lord. Choose you whom you will serve. It has gotten to that point. Let me tell you, I have zero confidence in the police, zero confidence in INEC, zero confidence in any of the security agencies, and zero confidence in the political parties.
Do you have zero confidence in? Do you also have zero confidence in Hope Uzodinma? And I'm asking this because in the first half, our guests did talk about the achievements of Hope Uzodinma, stating that in the past approximately 20 years, he hasn't seen any governor who has performed quite as excellently as he has. Talked about the roads, the excellent roads Hope Uzodinma has made, and the drainages.
Olive, I am an investment banker and economist. I know my numbers. Between January 14, 2020 till now, Hope Uzodinma has racked up and received over 450 billion naira by way of FAC, JAC, IGR, and borrowings. The only thing Hope Uzodinma has failed in doing is to borrow money to do the 62-kilometer Owerri to Okigwe road, federal government road, the 45-kilometer Olu to Owerri road. When we listen to some of these like this, see, go to every part of Imo State. 450 billion naira cannot see. Add it. Assuming even he did those roads at the cost of 500 million naira per kilometer, that's less than half a billion naira. Does that account for 450 billion naira that was received? My own local government in Okigwe, from the record at the Federal Ministry of Finance, which I'm privy to, this government received over 4.5 billion naira from my local government. Okigwe is a ghost town. Okigwe is now a host of bandits. Anybody who is still living in Okigwe have no means of evacuation. They are just there like destitute, waiting for God to help them. Who have never for one day visited any of those communities that have already been bedeviled by insurgency. And it is deliberate because that will help what they did on November 11th. Let me tell you this. The worst governor, I've lived in Imo, I grew up in Imo State. The worst governor that I've ever set foot on Imo State is Hope Uzodinma of the APC. And interestingly, let me tell you, if I am devious and dubious like most of those praising him, I will have been part of this government. But I cannot in good conscience, knowing who I am and where I come from, be part of the shenanigans that happened in Imo State. I will not.
Right.
I would rather die than David said, I would rather be a gate man and court of the Lord than to be at the head of the table of bandits and those who do not wish to. He is the worst governor that I've set foot on Imo State. And I tell you this second time is going to be worse. Go and mark it somewhere. I feel sorry for those who do not have any way to go to. I have practically evacuated all my family members out of Imo State because I know there's nothing good that can come out of a stolen mandate.
Nnaemeka Obiaraeri.
Nobody who steals a mandate will do anything right with it.
Well, yeah, we're going to have to end the conversation here. I mean, the next 4 years, of course, Imo State will, get to see how it turns out for, the Imo State residents. But we'd like to speak with you again. Things are still developing with regards to the elections. We'll see, if any of these candidates will be going to court or not, and then we'd like to get your views on how they turn out. And, of course, also share with you the clip from earlier today with Athan Achonu, of course, and his thoughts concerning Imo State and the elections. Thanks very much, Nnaemeka Obiaraeri. Always interesting speaking with you.
Thanks. Thank you.
All right.